This class is Introduction to Photoshop. And this is an introduction to your professor, Marty Pfeiffer. That's me. First, please read the syllabus. And where can you get the syllabus? Go to Canvas and select this class and then choose the syllabus menu option. If you don't see the text menu on the left side, you can click on the hamburger icon to make it visible. There is also a PDF available from that page. You can download it and have a nicely formatted version for your files. A PDF can be useful if you transfer to another college, as their counselors may need help appraising classes you've taken. In addition, it is a good idea to keep a syllabus so you have a reminder of what you've learned. If your professors in other classes don't provide a PDF, you can print this page and choose to save it as a PDF. So who am I? You can call me Mr. Pfeiffer or Marty or Professor Marty. Those are all okay. Essentially, I've been a graphic design professional my entire career. After graduating college, I worked at a place called Kinko's, which eventually became FedEx Office. We provided printing and graphic design services for individuals and small businesses. We even did signs and banners too. It was a very useful place, and consequently, we had a lot of customers to keep us busy. I'm going to take you through a project that's very typical in my early days. This involves two Adobe applications, InDesign and Photoshop. The nice thing about Adobe applications is that once you've learned one, you can apply a lot of things you've learned to the others. Here are the concepts we'll explore in this demonstration. First, we're going to learn how to place images in InDesign. We're going to resize and crop the images using a handy feature in InDesign. And then we're going to see how placing an image is better than just pasting it in. There's some unique functionality that we can take advantage of when we place images rather than pasting in pixels directly. I worked at the Kinko's in Burbank. If you didn't already know, Burbank is where a lot of Hollywood's work gets done. Consequently, a lot of models, actors, and stunt people would rely on us to keep their resumes up to date. Lula is an actress from Great Britain, and she wants to pursue roles here in America. She just had a photo shoot and would like to use one of those photos. We'll replace the image in the corner of her resume with the newer one. We're going to use a PDF of her current resume to create a new resume. Ideally, we would create her resume from scratch if she didn't already have an editable file. In this case, the designer who worked with her in Britain only gave her a PDF, which is unfortunately common. Don't do it that way when you're a graphic designer. It's a good idea to give your client the design files because it's an easy way to provide more value. It's simpler to make changes if you have the original files. It's also a great way to set up a relationship of trust. Here are your design files as well as a PDF. Be sure to hold on to them to make changes fast and easy in the future. I'd love to work with you again, but any other designer will be able to make changes with these. And if you're providing the design files to your client, you don't have to be the custodian of those files. But honestly, I keep all of my work in the cloud or backed up somewhere safe. Storage is cheap these days. We're going to take this PDF and update it with the new image. We'll also convert the provided color image to black and white.
So with InDesign open, I'll press the blue button here for a new file. And then I'm going to go in my print presets, and I want to see more presets here because I'm looking for A4. So I'll click on that. That's a size of paper that we're going to use for her resume. And press the create button there. And that gives us our blank canvas. We want to get her a resume as it is right now, which is a PDF. So I'm going to go to File and Place. And then I'll find that resume. Here we go. Just click on that. We'll go ahead and show import options. And then I'll press Open. And previewed page. Options crop to media. That all sounds good to me. I'll press OK. And then just click anywhere on the canvas. It places it, and then I can move it into place. There we go. Now we want to cover up this picture with the picture that she's provided. So the easy way to do that is we're going to create a frame. So I go to my rectangle frame tool, and I'm just going to create a frame first off to go on top of her current picture. We just want to cover it So if it's a little bigger, that would be fine. And then I think I'd like it to go, we'll zoom in and we'll just make it kind of the same as these bars she has there. So we'll make that nice and match up there. All right, so that's looking good. So now that we have this frame, we're going to put something in it. So with it selected, I'm going to File and Place. And then we're going to select her image there and press Open. And you see it's a color image. We'll fix that. And it's all zoomed in. So, gosh, this is a lot of problems. Fortunately, we have this options bar here. And there's some buttons up here that we can play with to get this to fit proportionally or fit the content proportionally if we want to show the whole image. But the handy one is auto fit. And that's what we should have had selected before we put the image in. This content aware fit is also a good one. So if we click on that one, it more nicely centers the image in the available frame. So that works out great. So at this point, we need to change the image so it is not in color. So you'll notice that there is an image in the links panel here. And that represents this file that makes this image. So I can edit it by clicking on a little pencil here in the links panel, and that'll open up Photoshop where we can apply a change to this. So we want to make it black and white. So I'm going to my adjustments here, and then we'll do black and white. And we can mess with these sliders to change how it is adjusting the conversion to black and white. Kind of just getting nice midtones here on our skin. So I want to make sure that we show the texture in the hair. So we can change these settings here to get something that's appropriate. I think the default was pretty close. So just fiddling with this a little bit, it's looking good to me. So I'll go ahead and hit save, and sure, we'll maximize compatibility. And then we can go back into InDesign. So I'm pressing Command Tab on the Mac to get back to InDesign. And look at that. The image is now in black and white. And we can go ahead and print this, give the resume to our client, and she'll be on her way and hopefully getting more jobs.
Okay, now we've seen how InDesign and Photoshop work together. Let's look a little closer at the features of the Photoshop interface. The options bar is at the top of the screen, and it will change depending on what tool you have selected. They all have some common features. From the left, there's always a home button to return to the Photoshop home screen, where you can create a new file, watch tutorials, browse recent files, and search Adobe stock. Moving to the right, there's a tool preset menu. It changes to show the tool that you're using in addition to choosing and creating presets. You can also go into the gear icon and reset the tool if you find it's not working like you expect it to. Next to the tool preset menu, there are various settings you can change on the fly. Each tool will have a different assortment of commonly used settings. Since the options bar has limited space, sometimes not all settings will be visible. The three dots at the right side will let you access more options. Menus are where you'll find a lot of features that aren't immediately accessible from a tool or a panel. Related functions are under different headings in the menu. You'll eventually get used to where they are, but it might be a little hard to remember where a less commonly used function is. On the Mac, if you know the name of a function but not where it is, you can go to the Help menu and start typing it in the search field. Not only will this list the menu items with your search term, you can also use the up and down arrows on your keyboard to jump to the menu item. Panels are where a lot of work gets done in Photoshop. Rather than diving into a menu, panels give you instant access to make quick changes. Each panel has a tab with its name, a hamburger menu to change settings, and the main area below where all the action takes place. The main area can be simply informational or have boxes to type in, buttons to press, and items to move around. Many panels will also have a set of icons at the bottom to perform actions. The toolbar is where you can switch tools. Many tools have a little triangle at the bottom right corner. If you click and hold on that tool, you can change it to a different but related tool. Tools can be displayed in 1 or 2 columns. You can just press the double chevron at the top of the toolbar to switch between these options. Personally, I like the 2-column option since it helps me visualize the tool categories more easily. From the top to the bottom, the categories are the selection and moving tools, the cropping and framing tools, the measuring tools, the retouching and painting tools. There are a lot of them. The vector-based drawing and type tools, and the navigation and toolbar customization tools. There are also informational icons below the tools. The 2 large swatches represent the foreground and the background colors. You can change either one by clicking on it and then selecting the color from the picker. The little icons at the top and the bottom of the swatches allow you to switch the background and foreground colors or revert them back to black and white. The remaining 2 icons are Quick Mask and Screen Mode. Quick Mask is a special mode that lets you use the painting tools to make selections. The Screen Mode button allows you to change Photoshop to a less busy interface. You can choose between 2 different full screen modes. Since this button will vanish in one of those modes, remember to press F to change back to the regular screen mode. You can access the Artboard tool by long-clicking on the Move tool and selecting it. You can adjust Artboard settings on the Options panel or simply draw a new artboard with this tool. It's important to know how to get around an image in Photoshop. In this activity, we'll use Photoshop to find Waldo. Please download where'swaldo.jpg from Canvas. Since this image is a JPEG, it'll open in your default picture viewer if you try to double-click on it. So instead, open Photoshop and then go to the File menu and select Open. Navigate to the Downloads folder and open the JPEG. The Hand tool is for moving around the image. If you've zoomed in, you'll only see a small portion of the whole image. This tool is handy for changing what portion you want to see. The Zoom tool is for zooming in your view of the image. You'll want to zoom in so you can work on more detailed edits and then zoom out for a reality check of how those changes affect the whole image. To zoom out, press the Alt or Option key while clicking. In addition to single-clicking with the Zoom tool, you can also drag with the mouse. Dragging to the right zooms in and to the left zooms out. This is called Scrubby Zoom. You can uncheck Scrubby Zoom from the options bar to get the old-timey Photoshop experience. In the before times, you would drag out a marquee with the Zoom tool, and then Photoshop would zoom in on the area you had selected. There are also buttons on the options bar to quickly change the view to 100%, where 1 pixel in the image will display as 1 pixel on screen, or to fit or fill the document window. Since these tools are so handy, you can also temporarily change to them by holding down certain keys. Once you release these keys, your tool will reset back to whatever you were using before. Press the spacebar to activate the Hand tool. Press the spacebar and then Control or Command to activate the Zoom In tool. Now, note to Mac users, you'll want to make sure to hold the spacebar down first and then add the Command key. Otherwise, the computer will activate Spotlight, which is a universal search function built into the Mac OS. Press the spacebar and then Alt or Option and activate the Zoom Out tool. So now try to find Waldo, but be sure you've located the real one. There are plenty of false Waldos in this image too.